The ACLU has proven themselves time and time again to be an anti-American organization dedicated to an effort to uproot the Constitution and America's Judeo-Christian values. Roger Baldwin, the founder of ACLU, stated, "I am for socialism, disarmament, and ultimately for the abolishing the state itself. I seek the social ownership of property, the abolition of propertied class, and the sole control of those who produce wealth. Communism is the goal." Therefore, it comes as no surprise that the ACLU has recently attempted to stop my assembly program from being presented in America's public schools, which teaches our posterity to honor the price paid for our freedom by upholding the Constitution and the values of our founders.
As the vets of this nation look at every one of us, they look at us and they say, "We bought you to set you free."
They posted a warning to Iowa schools stating my assembly is unconstitutional. The Constitution of the United States is a stumbling block for the ACLU. As a matter of fact, they were caught red-handed omitting part of the First Amendment of the Constitution of these United States. On their website, they had the following version of the First Amendment. "Congress shall make no law, ... abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the people, peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances." The First Amendment actually states, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances." While they were forced to correct themselves on their site, their actions certainly exemplify the omission. They have waged a hypocritical war on Christianity and the Constitution while they approve of and even defend radical anti-American policies. The ACLU has targeted Christian organizations or individuals while allowing and even applauding the rights of Muslims to practice their faith in public schools and using government money. Now, here are some examples of the ACLU's shameful hypocrisy. The ACLU has filed suits throughout the United States to remove Christian crosses, Christian flags, and the Ten Commandments from public buildings, although they were erected at the community's request. The ACLU has targeted a movement called the Silver Ring Thing, a case in which the Department of Health and Human Services was held in violation of the clause by providing inherently religious activities in its promotion of an abstinence before marriage program. The American Civil Liberties Union threatened to bring a lawsuit against the Hawaii State Senate for its long-standing tradition of opening each legislative floor session with an invocation. In a letter, the ACLU cited Christian prayer and any reference to Jesus Christ at the legislature is unacceptable. The ACLU has broadcasted its role in eliminating intelligent design courses in Pennsylvania public schools. In Virginia, the ACLU has protested the issuing of Choose Life license plates and a moment of silence for school children at the beginning of each day. However, Carver Elementary School in San Diego was going to allow Muslim students to pray in school. Instead of the ACLU threatening this school, they made the following statement in defense of Muslims. Performing these prayers is widely, if not universally, recognized as one of the 5 essential pillars of Islam. One of these prayer times will always fall during the school day at Carver when students are required by law to be at school. The ACLU is happy to represent a high school teenager who violated her school's dress code by wearing a nose ring, stating it was a part of her religious beliefs, being part of the Church of Body Modification. In 2004, the Massachusetts branch of the American Civil Liberties Union contended that the display depicting the birth of Jesus in a Bethlehem manger violated separation of church and state, and its presence on the grounds of a public school sent a message that the schools endorsed Christianity. However, the city of Boston virtually gave away land, and government officials at every level endorsed the construction of a $22 million religious structure. The religious structure and institution was neither a church nor a synagogue. It was a mosque. And not just any mosque. The Islamic Society of Boston's mosque project will be the largest on the east coast of the United States and will be funded primarily through Middle Eastern money. 2 Muslim inmates held in a special unit at the U.S. prison in Terre Haute, Indiana, say they aren't allowed to pray in groups as often as their religion commands and have asked a federal judge to ease limitations on worship imposed by the Bureau of Prisons. The ACLU is right there to sue the federal prison on the behalf of the law-breaking individuals. The ACLU has also protected criminal activity. The ACLU defended the North American Man-Boy Love Association, NAMBLA, for this pedophile group's role in the brutal murder of 10-year-old Jeffrey Curley in 1997. Salvatore Sicari and Charles Janes picked up 5th grader Jeffrey Curley and took the boy to the Boston Public Library, where Janes accessed NAMBLA's website. Later, the men attempted to sexually assault Curley, but the boy fought back. Attempting to restrain him, Janes gagged the 10-year-old boy with a gasoline-soaked rag and eventually killing him. The men put Jeffrey's body in a tub with concrete and threw it into a river. The American Civil Liberties Union argues that the newsletters and other NAMBLA materials, remember I said pedophile organization, in Janes's possession, which contain photographs of boys of various ages and nude drawings of boys, are protected speech under the Constitution. It is obvious to see their clear discriminatory manner in which the ACLU operates. The definition of a hate crime is defined by state law as one that involves threats, harassment, or physical harm and is motivated by prejudice against someone's race, color, and religion. The ACLU has proved themselves to be guilty of bullying, targeting, and harassing Christians. After one of our assembly programs in Dunkerton, Iowa, the ACLU, in conjunction with 3 homosexual organizations, sent a letter to all of the Iowa schools telling them that our program was divisive and unconstitutional. They also stated assemblies like ours have no place in our public schools. The ACLU's only reference to what happened during our assembly was a media report filled with false information. Folks, even the kids attending our assemblies know better than to believe the media. Without even knowing our content for themselves, and without contacting us, the ACLU has attempted to shut us out of their schools based on their obvious discrimination against the Christian faith and against the Constitution that we base our entire assembly program on.
The ACLU must be unequivocally supporters of civil liberties for all peoples. That means you can't make any exceptions to say, well, it's all right to have civil liberties here, but not there.
The ACLU, American Civil Liberties Union, is guilty of the very hate crimes they claim to decry.